monuments, they express the power of the spiral of fifths and the spiral of fourths together, the two spirals which are complementary,
Yeah.
and which represent light and time
Yeah.
and God. All concepts of God have always been based on them, but the real truth behind it all is that Jesus Christ came to England like William Blake said he did.
Really?
That's the importance, is that Joseph, when Joseph fled for, quote, Egypt, from after the slaughter of the babies, he fled to England and he brought Jesus to England. There's a great deal of ancient Egypt in England, and place names, and a great deal of connection. And I could itemize the connections between Stonehenge and the Giza pyramids, for example, is one easy one. And the point is that when William Blake wrote Jerusalem and said, and did those feet
In ancient time?
in ancient time, walk upon England's mountains green, he was getting the literal truth. And that is what the extraordinary message is of these monuments, is that Jesus was brought here by Joseph, his father, to England because it was a very important place.
Really?
That is the message of the monuments, yes.
Sorry, so Joseph brought Jesus?
Joseph brought Jesus here.
Yeah.
Jesus really did come to England. England is a special place.
Okay, yeah.
That what we all feel at Glastonbury and Avebury and so on has a very real connection to the fundamental problem. Actually, Jesus, the logos of the age. Jesus is the logos of the age of Pisces, and he started by being brought here to England.
So why don't we see that written anywhere else?
What?
Why don't we see that written anywhere else in any kind of history or ancient book?
I think probably some people also say that.
They do say that. Okay.
Well, I'm not sure. They may. I haven't read it, but I think they probably do.
Right.
William Blake said it. He said, and did those feet.
Right. I see.
But it's power. It's an extraordinary power in stuff like that. It's rhetorical power. It's power that moves people's emotions in an extraordinary way.
It does.
And it's really, the message is, we should all respect these sites. We should give them the respect that they deserve.
I think we give them respect, but we don't know what the respect is, really.
Well, the respect that we actually give is to academics who walk around quappling saying, we will never know.
No.
Because they never fucking begin to look. They're too up themselves to even look because somebody else might have done that work already, and they're going to be accused of plagiarism or...
So who should we respect?
Who?
Yeah, if it's not academics, who should we respect?
Absolutely nobody. Respect yourself.
No, okay. So, no, you said we should respect these monuments. Okay?
We should respect the monuments, yes.
And for what reason in that case?
Because we are not We all have a soul which belongs in the stars. That is the real message that people need to.
But how does that relate to these monuments?
That in the very old days, and that when people believed that their star souls were marooned on the earth and could not go back to the stars,
Yeah.
but they did rituals at Avebury,
Yeah.
which would connect them on the winter solstice.
Yeah.
Was a time, and that was why stone circles sprang up all over England. It's like everywhere has a church. When somebody died, their relatives walked the stones on the winter solstice as a way of ensuring that the people they loved would get on the ladder up to the stars.
They walked the stones at Avebury.
They walked the stones on every circle.
Any circle, okay. But Avebury and Stonehenge.
In particular, in
are the
Avebury
important
is a
ones.
classic, is a really important place.
Yeah.
Much more important than is generally realised. One of them is that Silbury Hill used to stand in water, and it used to be polished chalk, and on the full moon it would shine up, it would light up as if it was having an eclipsing moon. It would look like on Earth. That the whole thrust is to bring the stuff down to Earth. And at Avebury with Silbury Hill, that's what they did. They actually gave people this experience, theatrical. It was a theatre where they brought the heavens, the real heavens came down to the earth. And it really was a brilliant show, engineered by mirrors, mathematics, knowledge of the angles of the moon, and the polished chalk surfaces allowed a theatrical happening. The radii of the polished chalk banks at Avebury used to send shards of light across the whole circle from the moon. It used to focus the moonlight at a particular moment.
And why doesn't it do it now?
Because they've removed the polished chalk bank.
Right. Okay, that's quite well known though, isn't it?
Well, I've given enough information to Maria